Hi everyone, I am Dr. Nahim Mizan and I run Mizan Coaching. I am a medical legal consulting physician, and on this channel, hopefully really the sole reason why I and my team created this channel is to help doctors, nurses, hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, etc. really improve their practices, really their daily practices, their medical management, in order to not get sued. That's basically my modus operandi here. So firstly, thank you. This is my first time on social media, weirdly enough. I'm in my early 30s, but I've never really been on social media. This is my first time on YouTube, obviously. So thank you for your patience as we go on this journey together. I'm sure my production quality will improve over time, hopefully. But really, this channel, it's more of an educational channel for those in the healthcare industry, really deep in the healthcare industry. So hospitalists, clinicians, registered nurses, PAs, DOs, NPs, etc., CRNAs, what have you. And again, the reason why is because litigation in the healthcare sector is very common. It's not as it is a big deal. And the work that I do I work with plaintiffs, I work with defendants, I work with law firms, I work with hospitals, I work with CEOs, CMOs all over the world, actually. And what I really realized is that I wish I knew these things back when I was in pre-med, honestly, like in UCLA, and then in medical school, then in residency. And really, we're not taught any of this in our medical journey. So those of you watching who are not in the healthcare field or are planning on going into the healthcare field, I hope this provides a little bit of the behind the scenes information that really you're not going to get anywhere else. And really, I feel like I'm in a niche in my career, and so I'd like to share that. That's really the point of this channel. And if there's anything specific that you'd like me to discuss in a future video, please leave a comment below. Please subscribe. Please share with your colleagues. Please share at conferences, at galas, what have you, at CMEs. Because really, I'm not really into social media. I don't really, my life is already hectic enough as it is. I recently got married, so it's really, I just focus on my career, and I focus on bringing justice and closure to families and patients that were hurt, and also to physicians and hospitals that were wrongly sued, frivolous lawsuits, etc. Okay, and again, as you've noticed, I talk a lot, which I hope is okay. And really yeah, okay. So I'm thinking, our slogan here on this channel will simply be, now let's protect our practices. So let's pop. And so I'll go through a little introduction to who I am. And really the point of this the format of this channel will be like this. It'll just be me talking with you again, hopefully as the channel grows, we'll develop more of a relationship where whatever you comment below, I can even call you out by name and say, hey, this was an excellent question. Let's discuss about pressure ulcer cases and pressure ulcer prevention, etc. So who am I? Why are you listening to me, right? So I'm Nahim Mizan. I'm an LA native. I grew up in Los Angeles. And so I grew up, biking on the beach, hiking at Griffith Park, going to the observatory. My family is really big into museums, so we were members of LACMA, we were, friends of the observatory, etc., anything LA. I worked at, oh my goodness, Homeboys Industries for a bit. I did tattoo removal over there for free. So basically, I grew up in LA, went to UCLA, did neuroscience. I went to the American University of the Caribbean School of Medicine immediately after college. Got my medical degree, did my residency in Los Angeles as well in family medicine. And it was really during this time, and honestly, it was, I grew up in a family of physicians, which I'm very grateful for. And so that gave me insight into the nitty gritty of what it means to be an attending physician. Basically, it's a lot of us who don't have family or friends in the healthcare field, we don't really know. It's basically the blind leading the blind, really, right? So and so it's like, we look at scores and like USMLE step 1 scores or ITE exam scores or whatever you have, and it's like, we kind of judge each other on that or what have you, and then we think, oh, I want to be a plastic surgeon, oh, I want to do cardiology. But I feel like, I had uncles and aunties, Bangladeshi, right? So I had uncles and aunties all over the US and Europe and Australia who went through these paths, and like I could see their lives 30 years, 40 years down the line, and I realized that, this isn't something that I want. Like I'm a very family-oriented man. Again, my wife and I just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. I'm a very family-first person. So I thought to myself, what kind of a doctor career can I have where I can prioritize being a husband and, God willing, a father, and that would be my number one. But I'm still practicing medicine, meaning that like I'm still providing medical input, discussing medical management, etc. So during my residency and before and after, really, like I did quite a lot of volunteering. I went all over the world, actually, thank God. And I helped actually organize and build a refugee clinic for the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, from Myanmar to Bangladesh. And I was there for about 2 months, and I worked with Doctors Without Borders, with many other nonprofit organizations, not NGOs. And so then I sort of learned that, wow, like, I enjoy consulting. And the word consulting is kind of funny, right? Because it could mean anything. So, but in the world of consulting, being a doctor, there's a lot of avenues that you can take. And so in this channel, actually, one of the subtypes or whatever you call it, a playlist, like that I'll be going over is other medical career pathways that doctors, MDs, and DOs can take. Because again, like in residency and with a lot of my friends, they never knew that there were other career pathways for doctors. And one thing I tell all my juniors is the medical degree is the most powerful degree that I know of, at least, that a human can get. You can really do anything. If you're a business savvy, you can start your own business. If you're into consulting, you can work with companies or work on your own, consulting different groups. If you're into entertainment, I actually have a friend who's a Netflix doctor, so she consults Netflix producers, etc. Anyway, so what do I do? So that's what I did basically for a bit, and then I worked with a company. That does consulting, and I do my own work where it's like I basically teach. Like I do what's called medical topic education. So I work with organizations, both big and small, individuals, etc., on their own personal medical legal cases, but also in healthcare systems. And we'll have further videos to discuss those routes. And yeah, so that's really who I am. So I did a lot of private consulting work, and then I realized that, I want to do this full time. Like I get to work from home. I get to travel as much as I'd like. I have business meetings and conferences all over the world, actually, and it's just a brilliant life for me. And it's not for everyone. A lot of people like the stability of working in a hospital or working in a clinic 9 to 5 or 12-hour shifts or 1 week on, 1 week off. That's not for me. So really, this is where I landed, and I'm very, very grateful that I landed here. And I'm very lucky that I have a supportive wife who's happy with it as well. Okay. So on this channel, we'll basically be performing a deep dive into the medical legal world. So what does that mean? I actually have a YouTube short, which I made a day or two ago, on what is medical legal. So medical legal just means the fusion between medicine and the legal world. So you can think of it as medical jurisprudence, or basically as a doctor or a nurse, like, are you following the law? Like, are you following your Hippocratic Oath? Are you making sure that you're not harming the patient? Are you actually doing everything you're supposed to? Because most lawsuits are due to that. Like, it's either due to willful negligence, or, you're tired, you're whatever, you have 20 patients that you have to see in the morning, and you make some mistakes. And some patients, they find an attorney, they subpoena you or what have you. And another thing we'll do on this channel is that we're going to go through the entire timeline. So this is, again, something that doctors don't know about. So, and you need kind of someone on the inside of the medical legal world to teach this. So, yeah, so we'll be going through like intake all the way to trial to, you know, settlement or to going to court, getting representation, and also what it means to be an expert witness as a physician, which is a very lucrative career pathway. However, it comes with its own risks and benefits. And also, you know, what I do is really patient first. So that's actually why I got into this. Like, so after I consulted for a bit around the world, I kind of learned that healthcare systems in different countries are different than in the United States. And, you know, and like, you know, the healthcare system in the US is okay. Like, you know, none of us, you know, that's a whole different topic. But it's like what I notice is that we can really optimize things. We can really improve things. And hopefully in the future, you know, as this channel grows, as my work grows, I'm hoping to have interviews with other prominent YouTube physicians and other, you know, big pillars in the medical community, actually, and to hopefully share my input. And I've been a medical legal consulting physician full-time for over 3 years now. So I have hundreds of cases under my belt, from nursing home cases, outpatient, inpatient, surgical cases. You have it, you know. So then the other thing that I did in my life was that I received certifications from UC Irvine on medical ethics and medical jurisprudence. I always tell my clients that, you know, I was just too lazy to get a JD, which is kind of funny. Considering, you know, like they say, oh, doc, you're so young and you did so many things. And I'm like, I wish I did more, honestly. Like, you know, because in order to be a voice in the medical legal sector, you need to know your stuff. You can't just say things. So and on that note, actually, so we're going to go through really the 3 pillars of a medical legal case. So if a patient sues a hospital, what happens, right? If you sue your hospital because, you know, and this is very common, like, you know, like a doctor or a nurse or a PA or what have you, like they put in a wrong order or they put in they do something wrong. And so then, like, you know, very few cases are found, but some cases are found. And so, you know, then, you know, if there's an intake with an attorney, basically what we consultants look for is 3 things. One is called standard of care deviations. The other is causation, and the third finally is damages. And that's really how they determine a money amount. And that's really the economics of the medical legal world, which we can also go over in the future, hopefully. So those are it. So, like, you know, and again, like, you know, the reason why this niche exists, like where doctors help patients and also help hospitals, etc., is because most of the people who do this are attorneys, right? And they're not doctors. Like they don't have medical education. So the most they do is they go on UpToDate, or they, you know, go on WebMD or something, and they're like, oh, look, pressure ulcers. But most of them are not aware of Kennedy ulcers. Most of them are not aware of contraindications. Like, you know, if someone just got like spine surgery, then it's contraindicated to reposition a person like every 2 hours. So there's a lot of these little nuances. So it's better, in my opinion, and this is why I have this job, like it's because it's better like for a doctor to opine on these things. Okay. So again, like what I wrote here in my little weirdo little notes, my sole intent with this channel is to share the knowledge I've gained with my 3+ years as a full-time medical legal consulting physician, and to improve healthcare systems around the world, meaning hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and also to teach doctors, nurses, and all healthcare providers tried and true methods to improve their own practices, their own medical management, and also documentation tips to decrease the likelihood of lawsuits, which are a huge ordeal. This isn't gonna eliminate the likelihood. And like one thing I tell my juniors that everyone is surprised by is, what do you think how many, like what percentage of doctors, I don't know about nurses, but what percentage of doctors do you think will be in a lawsuit within their career lifetime? Feel free to comment below, but I'm just going to like give the answer. Let me write that down, actually, that's going to be fun. So like, I'm actually just going to like give the answer like at the end of this video, but so what percentage of doctors in their career lifetime will get at least 1 lawsuit? So just write a percentage, comment below. Let's see what people think. Okay. So yeah, so that's really the point of this channel. I want it to be sort of an open dialogue. I'll be, hopefully in the future we'll be doing live videos or what have you, where it will just be Q&As with me. Because I just started, like there has to be like, you have to meet a number of subscribers and watch hours and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so thank you for stumbling on my channel. I'm very excited for this opportunity. I've been, again, like I just got married. I just moved recently, so it's like it's been very hectic, but I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I'm really hoping that like this channel can grow and like it can go to as many people as possible to help as many people as possible. And what I mean by people is literally everyone. Like my job is really to just find the truth. And I know that sounds funny, like we just watched The Firm last night, which I kind of recommend. Like, the first half was pretty good, then the second half just turned into a typical Tom Cruise movie. But it was a really good insight into the legal world, and all of its, business. But yeah, so really my job is to share as much light in this world, because, there's a lot in the medical world that people are not aware of, and there's a lot in the medical legal world that no one is aware of. And so what I realize is that if I share this knowledge, it'll benefit everyone. It'll benefit patients to get the care that they deserve. It'll benefit hospitals, doctors, clinics by protecting themselves. And again, I'm going to be teaching very detailed and specific documentation tips, because that's where people drop the ball. Like, for example, I'll just give one in this video. Always write that you agree. If you're a resident, say that, you spoke with the attending, the attending agrees with you, and all of you attendings, guess what? The resident can sue you. So this happens. And like, I know it sounds crazy and it's like friendly fire, but I've actually had cases like that. So it's like, as an attending, also write that you saw the resident's note and always make some edits, like even if it's something minor, and say that you agree with the resident. But anyway, okay, that will be in a different video. But so again, I'm Dr. Nahim Mizan. I'm excited to start this journey. Let's see where it goes, God willing. And, again, like the whole point of this is just to share my knowledge of this very specific niche. If you're interested in getting into this field, if you're a doctor or a nurse that wants to become a medical legal consultant, my email is in the profile thingy. But feel free to email me, and, like I can give you the rope. I can show you the ropes. But yeah, so thank you again for stumbling on my channel, and I'll be posting, every few days. But yeah, thank you again, and let's start this journey together, and let's protect our practices. Take care.